Hello friends, today we're going to work on some shifting exercises and we're going to kind of guide you through different things that you can work on to actually get your hand to work better as you're trying to move it around the instrument. So let's make sure that we know what shifting is. So shifting is moving the entire arm and hand, the thumb moves with the hand, to different positions on the instrument. Extensions are when we stretch our fingers at different tapes or positions on the instrument, but the thumb stays in one spot. So if I keep my thumb in one spot and I stretch my first finger to a different tape, if you're a cello player, you use these extensions back and forward way more often than the other string instruments. But we want to work on shifting, and that means our thumb and our hand and our arm must move. All right, so we need to also know why we need to shift. So why do we care about doing this? We can play most of our music in first position, and that is true. You can play the majority of the music that you would ever play in first position, but there are certain circumstances where we've got to get our hand moving around the instrument. So the biggest one is to get the instrument to these, in a violin, to get all those notes that we haven't played yet. All right, otherwise we can get to a B and maybe a C natural if we can stretch our finger, but otherwise we are pretty much locked into those notes. And so we want to extend the highest range of the instrument. All right, another thing is we want to eliminate string crossings. So maybe I was going from a G to a B, and I don't want that. I want to stay, I don't want a string cross because that makes my life harder. I'm going to shift and play G to B, all right, on one string. Now the next thing it says to eliminate crossing over multiple strings. So maybe I had to go from, let's say, this lower G to this B, and that's really awkward to do. So if I shift my hand, I can play that B on my D string. Now I still have a string crossing, but I'm not crossing over multiple strings. All right, a couple more things that we need to do that to help us with our shifting. So sometimes we want to make the figure that we're playing lie well underneath the notes. So it might not work well in, let's say, first position. We don't like that, but we would rather try to do that in a different position, and it makes our life a whole lot easier. You'll have situations that make that happen a lot. Next thing is we want to retain the timbre or the sound of one string's voice. So if you think about your instrument as a choir, the lowest string is the bass, second string from the bottom is the tenor, then the alto and the soprano. So we have a choir, and maybe we want to keep that voice, and that was doing that all on the G string. And right, that gives the timbre of the string rather than playing. I don't want that as much. It's a different character as we go. All right, the next thing is to make sequential passages easier to play. So if I was doing this A, B, C sharp, and then I'm going to go, and I keep climbing up the instrument, I can just keep using that finger pattern over and over and over and over again. Now we're kind of dividing ourselves into some extra technical things. So, pair note to be vibrated. All right, you're probably going to notice that your second, your third finger are going to be the easiest ones to vibrate. But if I ended up on the E, but I want to vibrate that note, I can do that with the fourth finger, but my vibrato is going to be a little bit better on my second finger just because of the physical shape of that. So I want to see if I can shift myself into that position. I also might want to do a trill, and I like to trill 2 to 3 or 1 to 2 way more than 3 to 4. So maybe I had a trill between that D and the E. I can do that, but I have a little more facility and technique if I go with a different fingering. We can also use shifting to prepare ourselves earlier for a higher note. So maybe if I have to get all the way up here, I gotta do this big jump. or this jump. Well, I could shift myself, and I've helped myself get up to that higher note. And the last one is kind of another stylistic thing, is to use the idea of portamento, which means I'm going to slide. I'll try that again. I kind of just slid up to that note, all right? And that we do that by shifting, and you saw that I moved my entire hand. All right, the next video is going to get us into some helpful hints about our instrument and about our shifting that you're going to want to take special notice of as we get further and further on, and then we're going to do some exercises. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.